Hey guys. Okay, today is part 2 of the Ccwr, which is Civilian Cold Winter Ration. And we are going to be doing the lunch, which consists of the chili mac with beef. We have already got it seeping in the bag, and we're going to be opening this in a few more minutes. And along with that, hubby is going to be drinking the black tea with orange, and I'm going to be drinking, pronounce that for me please.
Cozy chamomile.
Thank you. I can never pronounce it.
Herbal tea.
And of course, once again, we've got our dude ripes, and for our dessert we're going to be having, this is a Save the Nature bar. It is dark chocolate with hazelnut and toffee, 72% cocoa. So this is going to be our snack.
It's called Endangered Species. Is a company.
Well, you're saving nature.
Yeah, well, they save I think 10% of the profits go to endangered species or something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, basically that's what our lunch is going to be, and we're not going to be having any cold drink with our lunch. It's just going to be the teas. And we're down to 4 minutes left of the seeping. So
I would encourage you, if you want to see the whole ration, you look at the part 1. We went through and unboxed everything that we had, and we also had breakfast then. And the other thing I would say is that these things are real convenient. If you're like out in the woods backpacking or something, they actually stand on their own. So, you go to the trouble of boiling the water, you can put it in there, and it'll stand on its own. It has a Ziploc part too, so you don't have to have anything to, like in the old days, this wouldn't stand up and they didn't have a Ziploc. You would have to use some kind of clip or something like that, out in the woods. And that's what I wanted to say on that, So.
yeah, and even it shows on the package people just camping. So, that's pretty well what this is. It's just fun stuff for you to have a variety if you go out camping and things like that.
So this is designed though, if you were like for in cold weather scenario, this would not freeze. You could just add hot water as long as you have the way to make hot water. And for those of you paying attention, you would have to hike in 2 cups of water for this. Maybe a little bit more if you count that would boil off some. But
right.
This thing takes 2 cups of water for your meal. So that would be 2 cups of water you'd have to account for. Obviously you have other needs or whatever, but for this particular meal, that would be 2 cups of water.
I also understand that if you don't have water, at least you can open it up and eat it dry.
Yeah, you can. It's already cooked. I mean, you're not going to cook the meat in 8 minutes, I'm interesting. It says spicy sauce, and I like things spicy. I wonder how spicy this chili really is. It says spicy sauce with macaroni, beef, and beans.
I know, it smelled pretty interesting when I was mixing it.
So, one of the hazards of eating that like out of the package would be, what if you got a big chunk of chili?
Which would be a very great chance.
So, I mean, that's the only thing dicey about that. But everything is, you can eat it, So, it's lunchtime now. The beeper beeped. Let's go ahead and give it one more final stir. You want to do the honors? You can, dear.
Yes, see, my spoon already got it. It has got a very strong aroma to it.
Hopefully for my wife's sake it's not too spicy. But I mean, most of the time, just like with the MREs, they make these things fairly bland because it's a lot easier to have somebody maybe they bring their own Tabasco sauce or something and spice it up or whatever, in comparison to having too spicy for somebody to eat it,
Yeah.
That has whatever, so they have some kind of problem or whatever, they can't tolerate spice well, whatever,
The scent reminds me of something.
Kind of smells like Chef Boyardee to me.
No, it doesn't smell like that to me. Not to me.
Okay.
Not to me.
Okay. Well, we'll give this a stir and everything. I'll taste it, and then I'll probably put some of this pepper in here.
It looks like you got a chunk of chili here that didn't quite get...
Yeah, I think that might be some, well, that might, maybe it's the meat, maybe not. You know, it probably, the chili probably rehydrated in the 9 minutes. It takes about 8 or 9 minutes to cook if you're curious. It still looks like it's pretty hot. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Get like a little beans, a little, you know, a bean, a meat chunk, and a noodle in there.
Surprisingly,
It tastes pretty good, I think.
this is good. I would eat this again in a pinch.
Something I've been trying to convince her to do is us bring along an electric kettle when we go on our vacation sometime next year, and bring some of these with us. Maybe that'll convince her to actually consider that seriously. You know, you can save some money and just heat up water in your motel room if you're not wanting to go out, you know, or wanting to be a little bit more budget conscious with your trip, you know.
The spices are just right in this. It's not too salty. It's not too spicy. It's very, very well made.
It's hearty too. I mean, for you know, a ration, it's pretty hearty, you know. So you just get a little taste of home. Huh?
The only thing that you can tell though is the meat where it had been freeze dried. It's got that spongy texture to it, and that's about it.
Well, that's good. It doesn't have, as far as I can tell, any of that. They list the ingredients separately, and it doesn't have any of that textured vegetable protein. It's just beef, cooked beef. So, as far as I can tell, and it does actually have like what I would consider, you know, to have you know, it does have chili pepper, garlic, onion, you know, and of course it has salt, of course, you know. Well, it does have soy protein, so. You know, but it does taste good.
I can tell though that it's more beef than anything. It does have the real good beef flavor. The really strange thing is, I made homemade chili, and hubby was saying that he wished that he had chosen something else for this ration, but he had made this ration 2 weeks prior. Now, I told him, even with his eyes closed, he wouldn't think anything of eating chili compared with eating mine. Honestly,
It's not bad.
the only difference with this and mine, this has got the macaroni in it. The comparison to my own homemade chili, it's so similar. You can't tell that this is a freeze-dried, watered ration.
Well, like I said, you know, it does have paprika and garlic and salt and onion and powder and chili powder, and it says other spices in there, so it's pretty legit. I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these things, at least on Amazon, run about $5 to $9 or something, so that's not too bad for a two-person meal, you know. Especially since it lasts 30 years, you know, about, you know, that's got a long shelf life. I mean, it's not bad, you know?
Yeah.
And the other thing I noticed is, you know, most people think of these as if a disaster occurred. Could be that if you're, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, this would be convenient if you had a, you know, an unexpected bill, like a, you know, highlight bill, or, you know, if you had like a, you know, some other kind of thing, like car repair come up, you know, at the end of the month, you know.
The one thing that really kills the pocketbook is medical. So even if you had to pick up a whole mess of prescriptions, at least you'd still have something to eat.
all you have to do is heat up water for this. That's it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's spicy enough. I thought I might have to have Tabasco sauce or be wanting for Tabasco sauce, but it's pretty well rounded. I'm actually pretty happy with this meal. You know, we're not going to be ending the video quite yet on this portion, but I would give this like a 5 out of 5. I gave the breakfast a 4 out of 5. I'd probably give this a 5 out of 5.
I'm 5 out of 5 too.
This one came through, really did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this feels a little lumpy, so it's my guess there's whole hazelnuts in here.
Could be. Why don't you open it up? You can tell.
Oh, it smells good.
It's lumpy because of the pattern.
Yeah, it's got a real cute design to it. Alright.
Well, tell me if the dark chocolate's too much. It's like 73% or something like that according to the package. 72% cocoa. How's it taste for you? I had some that was 90 that she just couldn't eat a long time ago.
The flavor, it's smooth and it's not too harsh of a cocoa. It is bitter, but it's not harsh. And the nuts is actually they're crushed hazelnut. They're not whole nut.
Well, it also has some kind of toffee in here too.
Uh-huh.
That kind of adds a little more sugar.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it might be too bitter for her, anyways. At least, you know.
No, I can handle a high percentage, just not almost pure. I like the Hershey's Dark Special, and I think it might be about 79, 80. I'm not positive. But yeah, the chocolate bar, it's good.
I just wanted to point out too. I mean, Mountain House and none of these brand names are here or anything. Anyway, I didn't get compensated. They didn't give me nothing for free or anything like that. But, you know, some of this line, I don't think of this one necessarily, but some of this line too is vegan and vegetarian or whatever. You know, vegan. You know, I know one of them when I used to be a vegan. You know, the 90% dark chocolate or whatever. You know, it was totally vegan. You know, so if you're into that kind of thing, you know. So, I think this would, if you were out backpacking, this would be a perfect lunch because, you know, you probably in the middle of the day you'd still have some hiking left or something you'd have to be doing or something like that. You know, this would be like a nice lighter meal by itself. You could eat on the chocolate on the trail if you wanted to. You know, it's like some nice little. What I would probably do is break these up into little bite-sized pieces here and put it in my pocket, you know? Maybe if you had a Ziploc bag or something, put it in that. And then you could just eat that on the way, you know, and then have a bigger meal, you know, whatever, for dinner, you know? That's what I would do, you know, if I was doing that, you know? So.
Okay, the one thing that I had failed to do when we had checked out the dude wipes, I didn't leave it within the frame. So I'm going to do this so that you could see just how big of a sheet this is. Now that's a pretty decent sized sheet. Now that would do sufficely for cleaning off the hands and the face.
Especially for a wet nap, you know?
And it is durable. Very nice. So, alright guys, we will be back with you with supper, and we will see you after a while.
Bye for now.
Alright guys, here we are now with dinner, and we are going to be having sweet and sour pork and apple crisp.
For dessert.
Now the apple crisp also comes with granola, which we're going to be able to pour onto it. And we've got some duck sauce and soy sauce to add
If needed.
if we need it. I may try a small spot here and there with one and the other. Of course, we've got our dude ripe. And I'm going to be having the strawberry and watermelon cold drink. And hubby is going to be having his hot tea.
The Assam tea. Forgive me if I butchered that. I believe it's British or something. Anyway, I might have some of the watermelons too.
Yeah, so it's pretty well time for us to go on ahead and get these stirred up and poured out.
Yeah, we're on 5 seconds, so about right. The apple crisp that I'm doing doesn't take as long actually to do as the entree, and the entree there actually is different from the chili. It takes about the same time, but it says at about 4 minutes you can re-stir it. So since it wasn't cold here, we re-stirred it. You know, some other people have given advice over the times on YouTube too that they would actually, if it was really cold here, you know, when you're doing this, that you could keep adding extra water and stir, you know, as you go. So don't put the full amount of water in at once, and then, you know, just what you would do is just go ahead and put in some, and then stir, you know, and then put in some more, so that way it doesn't get cold while you're waiting for it to fully absorb there. It would still stay warm longer. So it claims that this crisp thing is well, I didn't stir a little bit.
Yeah, but that just means that you got a little extra brown sugar on there.
Anyway, it claimed that this is 3 portions. I don't think it's necessarily 3 portions.
Actually, I would seriously think so.
All right, well, give me more.
That's a whole lot right there.
Give me more then. This is actually all brown sugar. I must have done a poor job on stirring on the bottom. I don't want it in my Chinese. That's not necessarily where I want that. No. I got a little bit of a brown seasoning in there.
Wow.
Now, so
You're going to get to see if it complements or not.
someday I don't think doing that will help. No, I don't think that's going to actually be good. Just like I don't think that the granola is actually going to be good on the main entree either. You know? I don't know.
Well, you'll just have to kind of skip around what's what. You won't be able to tell the sauce from the sauce.
So don't do what I did, which is, I guess, drop the ball on this stirring here. You know,
Unless, of course, you want a little bit of dried brown sugar on your mess.
Yeah, well, you already get. I mean, I like the thought on this though, but I mean, last time I checked, these were pretty high, and there was not very many available. So I believe this one might actually be the apple one might be discontinued now.
Now I'm going to add just a drop of duck sauce on a corner.
Or you could put it in this one. You put some in that.
No, just a little bit here on a spot.
I'm going to taste it plain and then adjust accordingly.
I'm going to add a little bit of soy on another spot. And I'll just try it like that. The soy sauce is very
strong.
liquidy.
It's salty too.
It's liquidy. Alright, first I'm going to try a bite without any additive.
It's pretty good.
That's a good flavor.
I think I'm winning her over while I'm taking some of these on the trip, maybe. I mean, in addition to taking these on the trip, that way we could heat up hot tea or, you know, hot drinks like cocoa and stuff, and not have to rely on that. It's always dicey to rely on, you know, the coffee maker at a motel, you know. may never stay at again, you know?
No, I don't like it with the duck sauce. It makes it too sweet.
And
Now with the soy sauce.
I mean, we are going to have a sweet dessert too, so you know.
I do like it with the soy.
Okay.
That's good. Means I can use up the rest of the pack. Not have it waste.
Yeah, it's just like ketchup or whatever. When you open it, that's it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't get much choice other than that, do you?
No.
I could take or leave the soy sauce, I guess. It's okay. It doesn't really add anything to me. I'll do what you did. I'll try a little bit on the other corner, you know. And I couldn't taste that. I purposely tried over there. I couldn't taste anything. It must not have really been that big a deal what I accidentally poured on there, you know. I better put this on there too before I forget. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, in my opinion, anyways, you know, we've already tried, you know, for just full disclosure, we've already had the apple crisp one time a long time ago. It kind of reminds me of apple pie filling, you know. So we put the crust on, you know, the Crispies on there, so it kind of would be more like a apple pie, I think. That's my opinion, but they do call it apple crisp, you know. Maybe it really is 3 servings. That we just used to be a bigger eaters, you know, so it didn't seem like it as much.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of food here.
It is.
And so, you know, we were going to submit this today and have the snacks today, but we're going to have to put it off and have the snacks tomorrow because she won't eat when she's not hungry. So that's just the way that goes, you know. And so still a third of this bag, that's pretty good. I mean, there's only 35 carbs in there and 18 sugars for, you know, a third of this whole portion, you know. That's not bad for dessert, really, honestly.
No.
I'd be wondering which has more sugar, this or that that toffee bar we had earlier, but we don't have the thing to compare it with anymore. But, you know, it'd be kind of interesting to see which portion was more, because that's 2 bars, you know, that's 2, I think that bar was a 2-portion bar, you know. You know? So, it would be kind of, in a way, be interesting to see, you know. Let me go ahead and clean my palate.
Well, the wrapper's right there.
Oh, the wrapper is over there? I didn't see it over there, so.
Yeah, it's in that bowl.
Oh, okay.
Where you store
We
it.
can look at it in just a minute. Yeah, we squirreled away a little bit of that for, you know, a little bit later, you know. Not much, though. That duck sauce didn't make it too sweet for me, but it doesn't really add anything to it. There's no, like, it just adds a little bit of sweetness, more sweetness to the flavor, you know. What I probably would have been liking would be to have just a little bit more pepper. The pepper would have cut through that, but I mean, I ran out of pepper now. But this is the last meal though, so that's fine. Oh. So, 1/3 of this is what, 35 carbs, and 1/2 of this bar is 21 carbs, so it's about the same almost, you know. So you could have, you know, one pretty close. Although the chocolate bar is definitely less, you know. That's like 15 carbs less for a serving, you know, which is half of that bar, which is still not that bad on the sugar, you know. When you think of chocolate, I mean, you know, dark chocolate, if you were trying to avoid carbs, is a lot better than milk chocolate. But like I said in part 1, though, one of the reasons that they do dark chocolate, I said earlier anyways, I don't know if it was part 1. Anyway, one of the reasons that they do chocolate dark, though, is because it melts less easily. This is more common in rations than milk chocolate, because, you know, let's face it, you don't want a big bunch of goo, you know, in your ration, you know, cold or otherwise. Even if it wasn't a cold weather ration, you know, it still might be shipped through warm weather, you know, before you got it, you know, wherever you were at, you know.
Right.
And so it could still be melted and damaged, you know, in shipping to you, you know. Those kind of things are like the morale booster, you know, they're a morale booster. And what, you know, nobody wants to get something that's already damaged, you know, especially if it's the morale thing.
Right.
You know, so anyway, this is real good too. I asked when this does come out, would you all be wanting to watch maybe just like if we just did a single, you know, a single meal? Comment below if you know when this comes out, if you'd like to see us just maybe do, we could maybe do 1 or 2 at a time or something like that, maybe a combo like we did with breakfast or something like that, and just like not a full 24-hour meal, you know, because that's a lot of food, you know. Otherwise it would be a lot longer for me to put together another one of these kind of things here, you know, and that took a little while to do. You're almost done, dear. I mean, to be fair, we ought to like break into the crumble before it gets cooled down, you know. You know, so.
I've already tasted the crumble. It's sweet.
It kind of reminds me of apple pie filling, or maybe the pie filling you'd find at a fast food restaurant when they're apple pie or something, you know. Something similar to that. We have to say the meal's nice and hearty, though. So.
Yeah, I definitely would eat that again as well.
So 2 winners on that. Would you like which? So which one did you like best out of all the meals, the entrees, the biscuits and gravy, and the scrambled egg skillet? This one or the chili for lunch?
For breakfast, I definitely preferred the biscuit and gravy, even though adding the skillet to it made it really good. Between the chili mac and the
Sweet and sour pork chicken? Pork.
the Asian and the chili mac,
They're both really good.
I like them both very, very much. That one, I really can't say between the two. I would eat them both again, definitely.
You know, we might be thinking about maybe bringing on the road. For economy's sake, we might just actually, they sell these in cans too, in bigger cans, but once you open that, then obviously you've got to eat that within the next 30 days or it's going to go bad. So we might just bring a couple of cans of these on the trip if we actually anticipate eating these, you know. They're less expensive because, you know, but, you know, we probably have to bring these because, I mean, we wouldn't want to bring silverware and, you know, a bunch of extra stuff, you know.
Right.
I mean, the things that are good about these is you can cook them in this instead of having to have something to cook it in.
Right.
But I just wanted to you know, tell you that there are, like, you could get 10 servings or whatever in a can, but once you open that can up, you would have to definitely consume it quickly after that.
In that case, it more or less would be erased for a can. The dry packs are good.
Yeah.
So, as far as it goes for the apple crisp, well, not it to me. Between the sweetness of the sweet and sour pork and the sweetness of the apple crisp, that's just a little bit too much sweet in one meal. And I am full and satisfied, so, but, like, if you had something salty, then the apple crisp would make a great dessert to counteract the salt.
Well, like if we had all these and we were going on that trip or something like that, we would have this with the chili. That would have been better with this with the chili. You know, the chili wasn't sweet or anything. We could have had this with the chili, and that would have been better, probably, huh?
Possibly.
Knowing ahead of time. I mean, that's where I would have put this if in the meal we had today. You know, if I had to do this again, we had another 24-hour ration just like this, and I would probably stick that with the chili. You know?
Yeah.
You know, that would be a better. These are sweet and sweet instead of the chili was spicy. You know, tomatoey or whatever, kind of acidic or whatever, and that would, you know, it would be better with the sweet.
I do have to say, though, the portion of the apple crisp, it'd definitely be good if you have more people to share it with. Because something like this, the apple crisp wouldn't be something to have a whole lot of. You'd be doing good to have, like, just an eighth of a cup instead of like a half a cup.
Well, like my mom would say, it's rich. That's what it is. It's rich, you know. Meaning a little goes a long way, right? Huh?
But yeah, I'll have to say that the entire CCWR overall
So far.
has been very good. The Asian meal, I give it a 5 out of 5. So that makes pretty well a 4.5 overall on all the meals.
Well, and
For me.
the only reason you didn't like the skillet was because you're not a big fan of green peppers and
Because
onions
of the
and
peppers,
red peppers.
yes.
So, I mean, you can't really be, if you like peppers or whatever, it would be higher, wouldn't it?
Yes. Like I had said, I would have given it a 5.5 if it wasn't for the peppers.
You know, with this too, say you didn't want to dump it on that, you could have that as granola on the trail, kind of.
Now, the granola is flavorless, so if you like flavorless granola,
Yeah, it tastes kind of like, it reminds me of those honey and oat ones, the honey and oat granola bars. Well, we have one more segment left, and that'll be, we'll probably shoot that tomorrow because, like I said, Honey Bun here only eats when she's hungry, so have to have those, we're going to have all the snacks together. You know, we eat to enjoy, we don't eat to engorge ourselves anymore. You know? That's at least that's our goal. It's just to eat to enjoy. So we figure we better try to enjoy this, and then we'll just do the other one a little later. So I guess bye for now. You'll see us again at the snack portion.
and so if we don't get back with you later this evening on this, we will definitely be seeing you tomorrow.
Well, and by the way, before we go, we've already talked about that, but this tea is really good too. So I would recommend this tea. It's full body tea. So
Okay.
We already talked about the watermelon.
Right.
You want to see the watermelon review? You can check it out. It was breakfast on video 1.
Yes.
We already had one of those, so
Yes.
I suggest you see video 1. All right.
All right, guys. So we will see you later with the snack portion of the CCWR. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye for now.